Hey there. So I'm going to go over some progressions for a pistol squat or a single-legged squat. Whole pile of different options for us. So I'm going to break it down. I picked a lot of this stuff up from the CrossFit gymnastics course, which is now called the gymnastics course. But yeah, you kind of have to work your way through them to find what's going to work best for you. You want something that is quite challenging, like an 8 out of 10, but allows you to do it with relatively good movement mechanics. So the first one I'm going to go over here is a self spot starting at the ground. So it primarily works on the concentric motion here. So as I set up, I've got a nice cushy pad here. I'm looking to have my laces to the ground to allow me to use this leg to help squat this leg as we go. By having laces to the ground, it's going to hopefully decrease the amount that I push through my right leg here as my left leg is looking to stand up. So I like to always have a counterbalance when I practice my pistols, have as good posture as possible. I'm going to simply stand up as I go. As I come up and down, I'm going to use this leg, my right leg here, to take some of the weight from my left to make it reasonable as I come up and down. When I set up on the other side, the same thing happens. Big thing here is just general alignment. We want to try and have this knee beside our toe, and then same idea, we come up and down. Okay, so in a perfect world, we can use this progression essentially to get right into a single-legged squat. I'm going to now look to stand up or squat on my right leg, keeping my left foot tight to my butt here. So as I come up and down, I'm going to try and primarily use just my right leg. And that's where that progression essentially ends, is at that point. Ideally, again, in the long run, we try and keep the heel pulled right to the butt, and then it just stays off of the ground the whole time. So the second progression is also another self-spotting progression. I'm going to use one leg tucked behind the leg that I want to be doing most of the work as my spot. So as I lower myself down in my left leg, my right leg is here to help assist and push like it did on the ground previously, but we're going to increase the stability demand or the balance demand as we come up and down. And then same idea when we go to the other side, self spot behind the ankle and come up and down. You can see right away, there's more of a balance element to things. I also find that joint alignment is a little harder to maintain here. So you may see the knee trying to sneak in. We want to try and keep that knee over top of the index toe on the foot you're squatting on. Again, that really increases the stability demand. I would go through progression 1, get really good at that one, then look to challenge progression 2. Progression 3 that I go with, before I forget, progression 2, we can then move that foot away and go off to the side and do the same squatting motion. Bring that foot out in front and continue to do the same squatting motion. Sometimes it helps if you have a surface that you're standing at slightly elevated that you can then use to come up and down. So my spotting ankle or foot would be on a slightly lower surface with my working leg slightly higher. Does that make sense? So working leg, spotting leg is out in front and down slightly. I personally don't like that one very much. I don't get that much benefit out of it. If you are looking to do a full pistol squat where you would grab your foot, drop down, and come back up, you probably want to get good at that one. Okay, so my last variation that I often recommend is a Russian step up or a step up from the side. And I really like this one because now it puts us in a slightly different starting position. And it will really allow us to eccentrically load this movement. So you can see I'm starting at parallel, about 90 degrees at my knee. I'm going to engage into that dorsiflexion where my knee has to come forward. I'll stand up. Now I can slowly or eccentrically load this movement to help with joint alignment, balance, and again that dorsiflexion. As I come up and down, I'm actually going to try and lead with my knee. And then once I maximize ankle range, I'm then going to start sitting my butt back to get pressure through my whole foot and into my heel.
So same idea on the other side, obviously, we would bring ourselves forward as much as we can, stand up as much as we can on that elevated leg. Drive the knee forward to maximum flexion of the ankle, then sit back into the heel and the glutes as much as we can. Again, this really helps maintain joint alignment, because as I come forward, or as I go up and down, I'll have a direct indicator of where I am. Because if I lose alignment, then I'm going to probably feel myself twist on the box. The other leg may even scrape along the side of the box, which is less ideal. How do we progress this variation? Is that 20 inches? Well, I can easily just progress and go to 24. And now I'm starting past parallel, or in that deficit type of position here. And that's like our full squat depth, is what we're looking for, that hip crease past our knee when you set up. Cool? Good times. So 3 different variations or progressions for you. You have to kind of find the one that works for you. Generally speaking, if it's really hard, you should probably spend some time doing it. In other words, the variation that I dislike the most is probably the one that I have the opportunity to gain from the most. With that being said, I've deadlifted this week, quite a bit of deadlifting, quite a bit of running as well. So my ankles and my hamstrings, what I need to be mobile today for these pistols, that's not happening today. But I should work on it and get better. If you have any questions, let me know. Good luck, have fun. As always, take care.